Hello my fellow freedom builders and welcome back to the channel. Many of you have asked me if it wasn't about time to take a look at Ark Invest and Cathie Wood again, and their investment ETFs have been going down a bit lately, and many of you are asking me, is it time to buy or sell, or what should we do? So today in this video I will have a look at three of Ark Invest's ETFs, the ARK-G, the ARK-K and the ARK-Q, and I've gone through them all and plotted them into TradingView to see if there are any of the stocks in there that I would actually want to buy. And I can't disclose right now that it is actually not many. Many of the stocks they have are giving sell signals in my method, my strategy. Just remember that Ark Invest, they are not investing the same way I do. They are looking at the potential for disruption and they are in the stock for the long term, I guess, whereas I'm more of a technical analyst. So before you go crazy in the comment section, just remember that I am investing from different perspectives than Cathie Wood and her team. So that said, let's have a look at it. And first of all, you might be a bit curious as to why I am putting on bond yield right now. But this is actually an explanation to why it has been going a bit downhill for many of Ark Invest investments. Because many of the stocks they are buying into are quite speculative stocks. They are stocks that don't make a lot of money right now, and they are funding with the low interest in this low interest environment. And as you might have heard, there is this concept called the TINA concept, T-I-N-A, and that is short for there is no alternative, meaning that the money have been pouring into the stock market simply because of the low interest. Now, I know that Fed went out there yesterday and the day before saying that they were determined to keep the interest low for at least 2, 3, 4 years. Great. However, the market does not really agree. The market has picked up on the fact that the inflation rate is actually quite a lot higher than the official number, and it is going up. So that means that Fed will have a hard time keeping the interest low. And as you can see, this is the yield on the 10-year bond in US has gone up from 0.6 down here and even lower down at 0.5 in August last year, and is up at 1.46 percentage point right now, and that is quite a lot. Just here the last week it has gone up with 30 basis point or something like that. So the interest rate is going up, and that means that stocks like the ones Ark Invest are often looking at, they have a bit of a hard time simply because both they are having a more expensive funding and they are quite a lot leveraged, many of them. And then people might be choosing to take some money out of the stock market in general, simply to put in bonds now that they can get a bit of a positive return. So that is why I'm bringing this up. Just be aware that if you have highly leveraged stocks that are not really producing much profit, then they will probably be hurt harder by a higher interest environment. All right, let's have a look both at the three ETFs and at the stocks that I might want to consider. Now, as you can see here, this is my normal template. It is the template with some special indicators we have programmed for our Danish subscribers, and we just had a new one today where we can see all sorts of fundamentals out here. That is really nicely done by the programmer. And as you can see, this is the ARK-G. They are looking at some genomic revolution, so that it is stocks that are using genomes to do all sorts of medical treatments and so on. As you can see, it has been dropping under the 20 SMA here and is actually has been going down quite a lot. Now, many of these stocks, they show these sorts of potential turning candles, meaning that the sellers had it all the way down here and then the buyers came in and sent it up here. And yesterday was kind of a bit of a no trend day here. You can see the pre-market is a bit down, but if the stock or the ETF in this case should come up from this area, then we would need some really positive days right now. And I'm not certain if we're going to see that. Now, what you can see here is also that it is as if the trend is bending a bit here. You can see that the buyers, they are not able to push it as quickly up and as steadily up as they used to. And you can also see it here at the bottoms. It's actually kind of making a new lower bottom here. So it is not the best of trend. So the ARK-G, not really a trend I would like, but it could return and bounce here. And if it does, there might be some more potential in it. Then we have the ARK-Q, and the ARK-Q is just pretty much showing the same pattern here, and it is turning at the bottom of this regression channel. And if it can keep up today, now you can see the pre-market, it is down at 88, 85 here, but if it can work its way up to end the day in the regression channel, I actually think it could turn around. This turning candle here, direction trend turning candle, it came with a lot of volume, so that is also a signal that it might be going up from here. Last one is the ARK-K, and that one has dropped quite significantly as well. The trend was actually fairly okay here, fairly steady, but then all of a sudden it took a dive here, and it really needs to be going upwards now. If it has a bad day and keeps the downwards direction, I think it might be the change of direction here. There's also some videos out saying that the Ark Invest could be in a bit of a trouble if the market went tumbling down, because they are owning such a large part of this the each individual stock. So maybe they own 10 or 20 or 25% of all the floating stock in a stocks in a single company, meaning that if all of a sudden they need to sell, if they're going down, if people are withdrawing money from the ETF, they will need to liquidate some of these stocks. And since they are sitting on most of the stocks, it could be hard to find buyers for some of them, at least the smaller ones. So they could be, I don't know if you could say the victim of, but at least they could be the target of some short selling when people know that they'll probably have to sell some of these small and very illiquid stocks. But that is another story. Let's have a look at some of the stocks that I think, if I were to buy some of them, and I have been through all the, I think the top 50 stocks in each of the 3 ETFs. I know there are some duplets in there, some similar stocks, but I've been through all of them and I'll try to give you a picture as to which of the stocks I would consider if I had to buy any of the ARK stocks. The first of them is from the ARK-K, and that is the C Limited. You might know that. It has been with a lot of hype lately and has been doing very well. So some people have made a fortune here. If I were to buy this one, it should show a bit of buying strength today here. As you can see, this is showing the opposite pattern of what I showed you just a second ago. Here we can see an accelerating trend, and it seems like the stock is actually turning and bouncing just on this accelerated trend here. Now I made this line out of the price yesterday here, so if it goes up today, that is very nice. If it goes down, well, I would be considering this line to see if that breaks. If it does, this is definitely a sell. But if it goes up from here, and as you can see, the turning candle here, bouncing candle with a lot of volume here, and if we see some bouncing upwards here, I think the C Limited could have some more upside. I am never predicting how much, how far it will go up, and the second I say that it might be a buy, it could turn around and go the other way. I am a trend follower, so I'm staying in the stocks as long as the trend keeps up the momentum. As soon as it starts to turn around, I simply exit the stock. Sometimes it happens pretty much the same second I buy. Sometimes the trend keeps going for a year or two. I never know, and I would never try to predict which stock would go up with 1,000% and which would drop right away. Then we are going into the ARK-Q, and that is actually where I have 5 of the 6 candidates of today. The first one is Trimble. And now we might all of a sudden see the market is starting in 4 minutes. So if I am not finished talking, we might start to see the price move around. But the Trimble here, very nice trend, has been a bit wobbly here lately, but it is bouncing nicely on the 20 SMA, and as you can see, it is in a green zone. It has chosen the SPY here automatically as a reference index. So the trend is very nicely upwards here, and if this one continues up, I think Trimble could be a nice candidate for a potential buy signal. Remember to do your own research. I'm not really a financial advisor at all. All right, next one is a tiny stock. I think you know, that is Google. It is, of course, tremendously huge, this stock. Bouncing nicely on the 20 SMA here. Trend is fine. I actually think that Google is one of the technically very nice buy signals right now. I would like to see a good buying day here with some nice extra volume, but it pretty much shows me some good signs of an uptrend here. So Google could be something you consider. And then we have a theme here. I think you can see it. Let's just start with the Taiwan semiconductors. Now, if you have been into computers lately, you know that it has been next to impossible to get some spare parts for your computers. My two boys are on the market for buying some gaming computers in the high end. And it is pretty much impossible to get the graphic cards, and several other chips for these custom-built computers. So Taiwan Semiconductors, right now there is a need for the product. I'm not looking into the fundamentals of the company here, but it seems to be bouncing nicely here on the 20 SMA. It is with high volume, and I would like to see some more buying power here, but if that comes in today and tomorrow, Friday, this could be something you should have a look at. Another one in the same area is the NXP Semiconductors, and as you can see, pretty much the same thing here. It is in the green zone. That is nicely. The RSI is above the RSI is above the 50 line here. You could say that this is a red volume high candle here, or high bar here, but it is one of these turning, bouncing candles here when the buyers coming in. It is down for the day here, the day before yesterday, but it is very high volume, and the buyers are coming in at the end of the day. Then a good green candle here. This is what would be called a bullish engulfing pattern if you are into candlesticks. And if we see some upwards movement today, the NXP Semiconductors could definitely be a good candidate. The last one on the list is Nvidia, also one of the very large chip makers here. Has been going sideways for a while, then coming up, and if you didn't get this move up here, it has retraced down to the 20 SMA, making a very nice turning candle here, and it is showing some good buying strength yesterday. Now, I have no idea, as I said, which of these signals are going to follow through. I am not one that tries to pick the bottom and say I will buy right around here because I think that is the bottom. I am waiting for a bottom to form like this one, and when I see some buying potential here, some buying power, then I can enter the stock if it happens with some good volume. Now, as I said earlier, it might turn down right away and then I sell it, or it might just keep going, sometimes almost forever, up and up and up, and then I just follow the trend. I don't have any targets. I don't try to guess how far it will go. I simply just follow the trend until it bends. That's about it. That is the 6 stock, the C limit, the Trimble, Google, Taiwan Semiconductors, NXP Semiconductors, and Nvidia. These are the stocks I will be looking at if I were to enter any of the ARK Invest stocks from these 3, ARK-G, ARK-K, and ARK-Q. That's all for now. I hope this was inspirational for you, and remember to do your own research. Remember also to hit the subscribe button down there and the like button and all the buttons you can find down there, and take care of yourself and your money out there. Bye for now.